Good morning. My name is Julie, for those of you who may not know me. I am a member of the Niles Discovery Church Green Team. Our special guest today is Megan Moreno, who is a water use efficiency specialist for the Alameda County Water District. She has been with the district for about 6 years. She is part of a team that helps Tri-City residents conserve water by providing technical assistance, administering existing rebate programs, and launching new ones, as well as hosting landscape workshops. Thank you for being with us today, and I turn it over to Megan.
Thank you so much, Julie. I just want to thank Julie, the Green Team, and Niles Discovery Church for having me today. As stated, I'm Megan Moreno. I'll be giving a very brief presentation about the Alameda County Water District, some of the drought conditions we're experiencing, ways that you can save, and then we'll open it up for some Q&A. But if you have additional questions, I will have some contact information at the end of the presentation. So it is the mission of the Alameda County Water District to provide a reliable supply of high quality water at a reasonable price for our customers. We serve Fremont, Newark, and Union City. We were founded over 100 years ago, and we serve about 357,000 customers with 84,000 connections. So these are our three sources of supply: the Alameda Creek watershed, which includes the Niles Cone groundwater basin, the State Water Project, and the San Francisco Public Utilities Commission sources. And these are the supplies that are currently under threat due to drought conditions. So we have declared a water shortage emergency ordinance, and the ordinance really aims to minimize landscaping irrigation, so outdoor water use, minimize water waste, and restrict other non-essential uses. So some examples here on the right are runoff is prohibited, fixing leaks in a reasonable amount of time, draining and refilling pools, the use of decorative fountains, etc., are all currently prohibited by the ordinance. We also have restrictions on the number of watering days per week. So in the heat of the summer, currently August, we do allow 2 days of watering per week. And then starting October 1st, that's reduced down to 1 day per week. We are asking 15% reduction, and we're encouraging customers to do so by simple, attainable actions such as 1 less minute in the shower, fixing your leaks, using a broom instead of a hose, saving on flushes, and reducing your laundry loads. And how are we doing? We're doing great. So thank you all. This graph is really sort of busy, but I just want to highlight that purple line is the goal that we have, that 15% reduction. And in 2022, the light blue line, we just recently crossed that threshold in August where we're meeting our target. So thank you all. The orange and red lines are previous years, so 2020 and 2021 demands, and you can see how much we've reduced. So that's great. And we hope to continue the trend throughout the rest of the year. There are additional ways we want to encourage our customers to save. So these are programs we offer for our residential customers. Turf replacements, which I'll get into a bit later. We do offer free water conservation and leak detection kits, so devices that you can install in your home. We can provide shower heads and aerators for free, rain barrel rebates, and if you are considered low income, we do have a direct install program in which you can get your toilets replaced and leaks checked and things like that. We offer additional programs for our commercial customers, such as churches or businesses, including water use efficiency surveys and landscape budgets. And this is one of our most popular programs, which I encourage everyone to consider. This is the Lawn Be Gone program. Due to drought, we've increased the rebate amount. So we're offering $2 per square footage to replace any lawn, dead or alive, to water efficient landscaping. And this is a great water saver. There's some beautiful, beautiful ways that you can design your low water use landscape. With that, I'm open to any questions. There's more information on our website, and there's some contact information that you're welcome to follow up with me on. Thank you again.
How severe or dangerous or imminent is the water supply situation right now?
Great question. So we plan for dry years. So this is something that we've prepared for. And we've done things like store water underground in the Kern County water basin, in which we can rely on in dry years. So we have enough water supply if our customers meet that 15% or continue to meet that 15% conservation goal. However, if dry years continue, that's when we start to get in trouble. But for 2022 and 2023, we have enough supply as long as we reach that 15% target.
Is there a rebate for residential owners on getting good timers, controllers for their sprinklers and irrigation systems?
Yes. So for that, to swap out your conventional irrigation controller system with a smart weather-based controller, which is really using weather information from around the Bay Area to capture how much existing moisture is in the air so you don't overwater. They're called weather-based irrigation controllers. We do offer an instant incentive, which is like $200 off the regular price of a Rachio controller. So you can get one for about $100 plus tax, and they're really fun. You can get the app on your phone and customize your landscape and reduce your water use that way.
Good. Hey, I'm curious about how Alameda Creek water is regulated. Right now, I see the creek is absolutely dry. Sometimes it's quite a bit of water in it. How can I find out what you have in mind for managing that watershed?
Yeah, so our water supply operators continually adjust the 2 rubber dams that we have on our creek to kind of either store water behind it or deflate the dams to where the water would flow out to the bay. However, as you've noticed, there's not a ton of water supply in the creek. So for daily operation conditions, I could put you in touch with some of our controllers, but for sort of year-long anticipated operations, we have what's called a water shortage contingency plan, which sort of dives into how we want to utilize the creek during a dry year.
Are you saying that we could still receive a rebate to replace the lawn we killed several years ago in anticipation of putting in a drought-tolerant landscaping?
Yes, we do not need it to be currently irrigated. If you stopped irrigating, it kind of looks like dirt or anything like that. That's sort of one recent modification we've made to the program because we know that last drought people stopped watering their lawn. So we want to incentivize, instead of rolling out new sod, replacing that with water efficient landscaping. So I hope you apply for the program.
Another question from the chat is, how do you enforce restrictions to water use?
Yeah, so we prioritize working with our customers, versus being heavy-handed at first. We just inform people of the restrictions by courtesy notices and letters. And then if the waste is not resolved in a timely manner, we can enforce our ordinance, which then could result in a termination of water service. But like I said, we try to contact the customer, let them know that they may be in violation, and then work with them to adjust their irrigation or work on runoff, things like that.
So I just want to give a shout out for getting rid of your lawn. Leonard and I did that about 3 or 4 years ago, and our water usage just plummeted. And I want to give a shout out for Megan and the team there, because they make the process of applying pretty easy with lots of technical assistance and help. My sense of the rebate is that if you do the work yourself, the rebate actually covers the cost of the supplies and the materials pretty well. We hired a landscaper because we're getting a little older and we didn't want to work that hard. Well, we didn't want to work that hard. But it really made it a lot more inexpensive for us to take both our front and our back lawns out.
Thank you for the shout out.
I have a question. When I have one of those dead lawns I've been trying to replace for, this is the second year, and we have a landscaper coming to look because we're right there with Leonard and Iris. But my understanding was that the program kind of ended in June or July, and that doesn't start until next year. You can't sort of do it year round to apply for the program rebate.
Our rebate budgets are based on fiscal year, so it's sort of not, we wait for budget approval to roll out the new program, but it's pretty much guaranteed that we'll be offering this for several years to come. So a lot of the program materials may say this dollar amount until June, but it's likely that the same program will continue. It's just sort of a technicality because of our public funds.
But you can apply any time of year. You can apply now for the fall or the winter.
Exactly. And due to drought, we're, if you do get approval, say in the heat of summer, we're extending deadlines. So if you want to wait till the fall, the rainy season to plant, we're really flexible and just want to accommodate whatever schedule works for you, because we know that it may take time to finalize a plan or get a landscaper, things like that. So I encourage you to apply anytime, and we can work with you on the best time that fits for you.
A number of years ago, Reagan Nursery suggested that we water at night because it would stay in the ground longer. And so I see that's what we do, but we notice that a lot of our neighbors water during the day. Is there anything that can be done in order to say, because during the heat of the day, you just lose a lot of the moisture to the air?
Yeah, great point. Thanks for bringing that up. We don't have anything in our ordinance that says you must water during these times, but it is a encouraged guideline to water in the evening or night or morning, just because when there's less sun out, there's reduced evapotranspiration. You don't lose as much water. So there's some studies and like science that backs that up. So if you want to refer your neighbors or anybody in your community that to the district, we can explain why, but we definitely encourage to do what you're doing, which is night. The tricky thing with that is that you may have a break or sprinkler head misaligned, that if you irrigate in the middle of the night, you're not going to be able to see, right? It's 4 a.m. So you always want to do like a system check just to make sure in the day to make sure that there's no breaks, that you may be wasting water during the night.
Hi, how is the water reserve being adjusted for all the new building that's going on to make sure that there's actually water supplied for all this new construction?
Yeah, great point. So we do plan for dry years for all of our residents, including new connections coming online. The thing about the new construction is typically that they're very efficient, like multifamily residential units, or they have to install the most efficient equipment due to ordinances and regulations. Although we kind of fall into a weird situation because the city is what governs sort of new construction. So it's our job to make sure we have enough supply for everyone. And we are not the land authority, but we do our best to make sure we can solidify supplies for all customers.
I understand we have a huge supply in the Niles Cone. What's happening with salt intrusion? Are we holding our own, or is that happening?
Yeah, our district was established on the Niles Cone groundwater basin, and when we monitored the wells, we saw that salt intrusion was happening. So what we have a program in place that's probably several years now, that's injecting the cone with fresh water to push the salt water out, and the net flow is pushing the salt water out. So we monitor for that and make sure that there's not salt intrusion, although that historically was a big issue. We're sort of tackling it now by pushing the water out towards the bay again.
We're going to be having an anniversary quiet train event on September 11th, which is open to the community. Is there anything you would want us to emphasize while we're there?
Yeah, we always encourage conservation, just making people aware that we're asking for a 15% reduction and that we have programs available. We also can provide brochures and pamphlets and things if you did want to have like a sort of handout table. We'd love to spread the word.
Megan, could you say a little bit about any technical assistance you provide on gray water systems?
Yes. Hi, is that Iris?
Yeah.
Oh, hi. So we offer stormwater capture via our rain barrel systems, but because the Niles Cone groundwater basin is one of our supplies, we have not fully offered any programs for gray water reuse because it would put already used water back into the ground, which we're not sure what would be going in there. But we are warming up to the idea, and we have a flyer that shows customers how to retrofit their laundry system to go to their garden. So it's called Laundry to Landscape. And there are certain permits that are required by the city, but it's pretty simple. So it's a great way to save.
I know we've had a small desal plant operating out toward Newark. Is that still ongoing? And is there any plans or thought of expanding that?
Yes, it is still in operation. And what makes it unique is it's not taking ocean water. It's actually taking some of the salty water that's intruded the groundwater basin and cleaning it up to make it fresh. And then it's blended with some of our other supplies. So we maintain it, but I haven't heard anything about expanding it.
Could you tell us exactly what we get out of the desal plant? How much of our water is provided by it?
So it's blended into one of our supplies. So I would say that it falls under the Alameda Creek watershed before when I was showing that graph, because it's part of the Niles Cone groundwater. We take it from the ground, treat it in the desal plant, and then blend it with other supplies. It falls into the Alameda Creek watershed. So it's roughly 40% on a normal year, but the percentage of just coming from the desal, I would have to look into and potentially follow up with you if you're curious. I can definitely find that information out.
Megan, thank you so much. And thank you, Julie, for organizing this with Megan. And
thank you, Julie.
I wanted to remind everybody that the Green Team, we have a webpage on the Niles webpage, and Jim, our technology director, does put all of these Kairos moment things there, so you can rewatch this or have your friends watch it if they want to get this information. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.